That way, that way. Other way, other way, other way, other way.
Do animals talk in this dimension? Because I don't want to freak them out.
Hey, Mike and Meg here from GameSpot Universe, and we are at New York Comic Con, and Meg is lucky enough to have just gotten out of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse panel, which, as you can explain, was not really a panel.
No, and so they surprised us by showing us the first 35 minutes of the movie, which is essentially, I mean, the first third. It's not that long of a movie.
Yeah, it's not a long movie. So yeah, so not so much a panel as just a screening of an entire act of Into the Spider-Verse.
Exactly.
So we are going to talk about it.
What makes you different is what makes you Spider-Man.
This footage was not 100% finished, so just as a caveat, there were scenes that were very obviously not done. Lord and Miller came out on stage and clarified that it was going to kind of look like a 90s video game, and it did, but I'm very, very confident.
That kind of sounds good to me.
I know, it worked. Even the parts that weren't done still worked. It was amazing. It had the tone of the trailers just down pat. The whole thing was just frenetic, and it had this aesthetic that was beautiful. Music played a huge, huge part of it, so that's not just a trailer thing. For this one, it was amazing.
So what did they, was it all continuous? Like, was it just like beginning to end, or was it clips from throughout the movie?
Right, it was a full 35 minutes, uncut, the exact movie.
Did it start at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, it started at the beginning of the movie.
Can you tell me how the movie opens?
Yes.
Is it a cool opening scene?
It is. It's a pretty cool opening scene. So it's basically Miles' origin story. I mean, which you can kind of expect, but we get that, if you remember from the second trailer, I think it came out, there was that scene where Peter is doing his sort of like backstory.
My name is Peter Parker. I'm pretty sure you know the rest. I saved the city, fell in love, then I saved the city again and again and again. Look, I'm a comic book, a cereal, I did a Christmas album, and a so-so popsicle. But this isn't about me. Not anymore.
You get that voiceover in the very first, 5 minutes of the movie, which is even funnier than it is in the trailer somehow. There are some callbacks to vintage Spider-Man movies. I'm not going to give away too much, but there are some very good callbacks to old Spider-Man movies that people are going to really love. That's the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Awesome.
I'm from another dimension.
How many more spider people are there?
Hey, fellas.
Hello.
This could literally not get any weirder.
It can get weirder.
Okay.
All right, so you and I were both at San Diego Comic-Con, and we saw the footage there, which was some of the like Miles in the Graveyard stuff. That then you and I have both seen Venom since then, and the spoiler, kind of, not really. The end credit scene for Venom is just a scene from Spider-Verse, and it's the same scene that we saw at Comic-Con. So was that in this footage?
Yes, actually, that bookended the footage that is in the first 35 minutes. That's about the end of where, not 100% of that scene, but like the build up to that scene is like the end of that. So, I mean, I guess in a way, I kind of got to see like the first 40 minutes of the movie, because
we already seen what comes after.
Yeah, we already saw immediately what comes after, but the first 35 minutes sets up like who that purple villain is that people were kind of confused about.
And we did not see that villain in the footage at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, specifically
we saw that villain specifically in the Venom stinger.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so who is it?
I don't know if it's too much of a spoiler to say. They kind of drop it. They drop it vaguely. They never unmask him. So I don't want to say his name right now because I don't want to get in trouble. But it is a Spider-Man villain. I can say that much. But
it was one that you recognized?
Yeah.
Are you excited about it?
I am. I'm excited about it. So
well, we'll drop it in an article on the website, and we'll put a bunch of spoiler warnings on it. So if you want to know, it'll be on GameSpot.com. And if you don't want to know, go away.
That was really, really cool.
I don't even know if I want to know. I
know. I'm trying to be gentle with it because they did the whole don't spoil it. So I'm not going to spoil it. But there are very, very cool versions of characters that people are, I think, probably taking for granted. So I'm really excited to see where it happens.
Did you get to see any of the weird, like the Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir? Like, did any of that stuff pop up yet?
No, none of that yet. So it really kind of just sets up the way that the Spider-Verse is going to infect Miles' Brooklyn. And so you get a little bit of Gwen, not much more than we saw in the trailers.
Not Spider-Gwen, just normal high school Gwen.
Regular high school Gwen, who may or may not have some stuff going on in addition to just being a normal high school student. Little vague,
Cool.
but the world building was all done kind of in that first act. So that's where we'll take off.
Seriously, Dad, walking would have been fine.
Breaking news, Spider-Man saves the day again.
Spider-Man. This guy swings in once a day, zip, zap, zop, Nancy. Accountability.
Speed up, I know these kids.
Yo,
Miles, man, you get arrested?
Gosh, don't cops run red lights?
Well, yes, some do. But, not your dad.
So it seems like Miles running into like alternate dimension.
Yes.
Peter in the graveyard, which is a scene that they've shown over
Multiple
and over.
times, yeah.
Is going to be kind of the catalyst for the rest of the movie.
Yes, it's that scene spirals out of kind of the bigger catalyst of the movie, which I don't want to give too much away, but there is a villain in Brooklyn who is trying to affect the Spider-Verse, the multiverse, for a reason.
I can't believe they're making this movie.
He gets some sort of reason.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. So I will say, I mean, you get to see the reason that Miles' Peter Parker is not around, and it's a little dark. It is a little bit dark.
Oh my God, this movie sounds better and better.
Yes, it's definitely, it's not all campy, it's not all funny, it's very warm and touching and fun and cute, and there was a little 5-year-old kid sitting next to me the whole time who was losing his mind the whole time, just cracking up, so that made me feel really good.
That little 5-year-old kid is all of us.
Yes, exactly.
We are him and he is us.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Lord and Miller were there.
Yes.
Was there anything else in addition to the footage? Like, was there a panel? Did
They did
talk
a
about
Q&A.
anything? Okay.
Yes, they did a Q&A, but it was really kind of covering the same bases that the San Diego panel covered.
Okay.
So, I mean, don't expect, if you're going to go watch it, on YouTube or whatever later, don't expect to get a ton of information from the Q&A. It was very cute. It was, they're all very funny people, but, not a lot. They kind of let the footage speak for itself.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there was enough of it, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
I can teach you to be Spider-Man. I love this burger. So delicious. One of the best burgers I've ever had. You have money, right?
All right, so Meg, I am extremely jealous that you got to see this. Do you have any final impressions? Like, what did it leave you with? What do you think? What are you going to be thinking going into the movie when it comes out?
It left me feeling like I have never seen a movie like this before, ever. In animation and live action, in superhero, fiction, I've never seen anything like this. The way that they've maintained or been able to show how Miles uses his spider abilities when he gets them is so cool and so directly pulled from comic books, and the language and the music and the visuals. It's bonkers. It's absolutely, I can't believe that they were allowed to do this. So I am so excited for this movie. I think, if anything happens in 2018 that's good, it's gonna be Into the Spider-Verse. So
I'm gonna take that as a little dig at Venom.
Yeah.
Which is well earned.
Yeah.
There's nothing I like hearing more than I can't believe they were allowed to make this.
It's absolutely crazy.
Awesome.
I can't believe it.
Well, thank you for joining us, Meg. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to GameSpot for more New York Comic Con goodness and everything else you love.